internet sales?
What? Can't hear you.
That's about a $58 million question, and $104 million question for South Dakota. And that was addressed. That was addressed during the summer study to we have about, I think, $500 million in sales tax exemptions in South Dakota. In other words, let's say roughly 500 to 1,000 different groups have exempted themselves from sales tax. And as you know, sales tax is a primary driver of our state government. A summer study was held, and basically we didn't come up with any. And I thought that was a lost opportunity. So the question was sales tax on internet sales?
Yes.
I believe that needs to be explored. There's an effort being made. I believe there's approximately 20 to 30 states that are exploring this. There needs to be uniformity in sales tax application. Interestingly, the Midwestern states have been in favor. The big states, California and New York, are not. I don't know that realistically how soon that will occur. The lack of sales tax on internet sales is hugely unfair to the Main Street business people.
That's right.
Those are the people from whom we buy our stuff, hopefully. And every time we purchase something on the internet, we deprive our local businesses from selling us products and drive them out of business inadvertently. So I'm in favor of this. I'm modestly optimistic, but given the reality of the political situation of California and New York, which are two of the biggest states, I'm not sure that it will occur, but I will support it. If it comes to South Dakota.
Well, when I was in the legislature in prior years, I served on the Streamlined Sales Tax project with the National Conference of State Legislators. Went to a number of meetings on this when they were first implementing this 6-8 years ago, as far as trying to implement the Streamlined Sales Tax project. What that is basically to try and streamline sales tax governance nationwide so that sales tax could be collected on catalog and internet sales. Because the problem is, if you can imagine, if you're a nationwide distributor, the myriad of tax law out there in 50 different states and however 1,000 many municipalities is mind-boggling. And it does create a disadvantage for the local businessman who has to pay property tax on his storefront property, plus he has to collect sales tax. It puts him at a competitive disadvantage with the internet retailer. So in concept, I'm in favor of the Streamlined Sales Tax project to provide equity so that, with one thing with the sales tax, we've tried to always have it as broad as possible so that there's as few exemptions as possible. Like Fred pointed out, there are plenty of them. But here's the problem with it. I don't think, based on my experience on the Streamlined Sales Tax project and the lack of progress they've made, because of all the autonomy and all those different governmental entities, the only way that you're ever going to get a internet sales tax is if the feds push it. Who's the revenue going to go to if they do that? The feds. So I don't think that there's any way practically that you can implement a streamlined sales tax in all those different states and municipalities and have that revenue come back to state government. Now, if the federal government were going to do that and then not increase spending and use that to pay down the debt, I'd be all for it, but they don't have a very good track record of that.
We've been in business for a long time ourselves. We're entrepreneurial people, and we own and operate a business, and a lot of the business we do is online. It's not considered an online business, but at the same time, we have an internet presence, and people can order for their own convenience. So how do I feel about this? Well, I'm a little bit mixed, and I think I need to be more educated on it because, first of all, I know it would put a tremendous burden on our state just to figure all this stuff out. When I do all my state tax returns, it's a little complicated. And so I think there'd be a burden upon the administration of our state government, actually. And if it went on through then to where the counties get a little bit and the cities get a little bit, you'd be looking at quite a bit of expense there. So I'd have to know more about it personally. I know I buy things online that I can't get locally. Certain parts and those kind of things, certain suppliers aren't available. So I have to buy online, like I'm sure most of the people in the room probably do, or many of you do. And so some charge tax and some don't. And so I'm never offended if they do, but at the same time, I do think it would be an extra burden that we'd have to examine carefully.
There's not much more to say. I think it's already been touched on by all the speakers. It certainly is unfair to our local businessmen. And the other thing is, it will take federal intervention. How do you enforce it without federal intervention? And the way things are going in Washington, D.C. today, I do not foresee it. It seems like if the Democrats have a good idea, the Republicans poo-poo it. If the Republicans have a real good idea, the Democrats poo-poo it. As far as I'm concerned, a good idea is a good idea. And we need some common sense. Thank you.